if you want a unique look and a unique message all your own, stop looking at everybody else's stuff.
Your personal brand must be authentic to you in order to stand out and be seen as genuine to your prospects. This is so astronomically important. It's because you are different. We all are different. Right. Your brand can only belong to you.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
We're alive!
You've seen people with amazing personal brands. They stand out. They're recognizable and memorable. Their mission is clear and purposeful. So you ask yourself, what's the secret sauce? How can your brand stand out too?
Today, we're going to unveil that secret sauce for you so you can build a brand that gets noticed by the right people for the right reasons and gets you to your goals. We're also knocking down a few myths about what branding is not, okay, as well, because you need to know that. Yeah. Actually, let's start with what's not. Is that okay with you?
Let's start with it. Okay. Right. It's not a logo.
Nope.
It's not a tagline.
Nope.
It's not your photo.
Nope.
And it's not your biography.
Nope. Just, it's not any of these things individually. Just like a cake isn't the flour, it isn't the sugar, it isn't the eggs, it isn't the icing.
Mm-hmm. Those are all, according to Bill Cosby, very healthy.
Except I think they're healthy too.
Yeah. When he gave his kids cake for breakfast, right. He said, well, wait, it has milk in it. It has flour. Okay, well,
I tried to get, my mom never agreed with that either. I don't know.
No, it's preposterous. Okay, so your brand is actually all of those things and more in just the right ingredients, the right measure, the right chemistry, and baked at just the right temperature. Okay, yeah. I think you're getting the picture here, right?
We get this question all the time. What is a brand? Or, how do I know if I have one? Or even worse, I have one, but I don't. Well, everyone does have a brand. Right? We're each putting out a message and an image right now, but it may not be the message and image that's going to help us to achieve our goals.
Mm-hmm. So for the sake of simplicity, we've put the secret sauce into three main categories for you today, okay, that are super easy to understand. So let's start with this first one. Number one, your personal brand must answer 5 critical questions in order to be clear and purposeful.
Yep. And here are the 5. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? How does it make their life better? Which is very important. And the most important to me is what sets you apart from everyone else that's doing the exact same things, trying to get to those exact same people.
Yeah. So these questions are answered in what we call your brand messaging. Okay. It's things like your elevator pitch. And to us, an elevator pitch is not 30 seconds long. It's one sentence, right? It should at the very least state who you are, what you stand for, who you serve, right? So your elevator pitch, it's communicated in brand messaging like signature sound bites. Now that's a term that's exclusive to BrandFace. We created that a decade ago. And basically what that means is bullet points that serve as highlights of your brand at a glance. It's communicated through messaging like your biography, like your calls to action. So any kind of language where we can articulate or state, here's who we are, who we serve, how we serve them, what qualifies you to serve them, all of those things. And most importantly, again, what sets us apart. That's your brand messaging, the language that you use to communicate that. Okay. So that's number one.
It's very big too.
Right. And I must answer those 5 questions.
Listen, I got to go here because the bio thing is a lot of times people say, well, I've got a bio, and odds are you don't. Odds are you do, but it is not the right one.
It doesn't answer those questions.
It will never. And so one of the things that we're most powerful about is our staff of writers. We're very serious about this, and we know how bios are supposed to reach the person you're trying to reach. And so everybody that comes to us has a bio, and everybody leaves with a real bio. So it's very important that bios you put a lot of thought into that. And it takes training to do that because you got to dial in that message. The second part of the secret sauce is your personal brand look. It must match the message, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. We all know that, but it's got to be the right picture, right 1,000 words in order to align with your goals. We call this imagery. Imagery is very important. For instance, if your personal brand is adventurous and the photos of you are in a suit and a tie in a chair in an office, then you're not in alignment with how people are viewing you and what you're explaining to them about who you are. So they have to match.
Exactly. Or let's say you're trying to attract a very affluent audience. And if so, you want to choose background images, which are part of all of your imagery of your brand that portray the type of affluent lifestyle your prospects are seeking. It really just makes sense, but you got to know that every detail matters.
Yeah, it does. And finally, the third part of the secret sauce is your personal brand must be authentic to you in order to stand out and be seen as genuine to your prospects. This is so astronomically important. It's because you are different. We all are different. Right. Your brand can only belong to you. Just like if Stevie Ray Vaughan was to play Mark Knopfler's guitar, guess who he would sound like? He would sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know why? Because there's only one, and there's only one Mark Knopfler, right? And there's only one you. And so your brand can only belong to you. And because it's personal branding, which is what we teach and the secret to the success and the sauce we're telling you about, it's why it's so important to develop every single ingredient or branding element that is based on you.
Yep. And this, honestly, guys, is where we see people making a massive mistake when it comes to this part of that secret sauce, right? People tend to look at what everybody else is doing and judge their own brand based on somebody else's brand. And that's a huge mistake because what ends up happening is you end up liking somebody else's logo, which a lot of people get really stuck on the fact that they think the logo is the brand or the business name is the brand. It is not your personal brand. Don't leave out your entire story and connect the why to those 5 questions, your why to those 5 questions, right? Messaging is truly, truly important, but nobody else in the world can have your brand messaging or your look because they're not you. So all of those things must be truly authentic. I can't state this enough because we run into this all the time. In fact, one of the first things people ask our team when they get on the phone with us for like a discovery call is they'll say, "Oh, well, can I see some branding you guys have done for other people?" Well, we're very proud of the branding and design and so forth and writing that we've done for other people. But I've got to tell you, that's for other people, right? So if you want a unique look and a unique message all your own, stop looking at everybody else's stuff. Yeah, if you like a certain font, that's okay. That's a little bit different. But really, don't get too focused on that until we know the direction you're going in and what that message is and what that image is that we want to portray. Then we look at those details of what the logo should look like, what you should wear for your photo shoot, things like that. People get really hung up on the wrong thing here. Okay. They
absolutely do. Like the idea is individuality. And so here's the thing that's most important about the world that we live in. Every influence that you have in your life is telling you to be like everybody else.
That's so true.
Personal branding is completely different. And what makes it work is being different. Right. So you don't want to go over here and look and say, "I want that. I want to look like that." No, you don't. You want to look like you. Right. Exactly. If you think these details don't matter, here's where you can go wrong. And you can end up putting an image out there and a message out there that doesn't align with your goals. It isn't unique to you. It's a juxtaposition to each other. And guess who's going to notice that? Your clients. It looks like this. You get very frustrated because you find yourself attracting either the wrong prospects or no prospects. You end up working with the wrong people who would likely never buy from you. They're not educated in what you do. They don't know why they should work with you.
Yep. And you can also end up communicating a very vague message that sounds a lot like, guess who? Everybody else or whoever it is you decided their brand was better than yours, right? Because you haven't defined what sets you apart from them, which means you still haven't built your value in the eyes of your prospects. Another thing that can happen is you waste a lot of marketing dollars.
I've done it.
Yeah,
because I did it for 2 decades before I met Tanya.
Either your marketing is misplaced, meaning you're marketing in the wrong place because you haven't made a huge mistake of focusing on a specific type of customer. You must do that in order to avoid spending your money in the wrong places, or you wasting marketing dollars because the message isn't clearly defined, even if you are marketing in the right places, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the reason why we look at 77 different criteria with everybody before we build out a brand, because we know that is the secret sauce. Like, so we really do a deep dive into that to make sure that we have a full understanding of you before we build out your unique brand.
Right. And so that's why I said we simplified this into 3 main parts of the secret sauce. I'm going to reiterate those for you here one more time. Okay. Yep. Number 1, your personal brand must answer 5 critical questions in order to be clear and purposeful. Mm-hmm. Number 2, your personal brand look must match the message you're trying to portray in order to be in alignment with your goals. Don't forget, you have goals with this, guys. Number 3, your personal brand must be authentic to you in order to stand out and be seen as genuine to your prospects. Okay. And all of those, you get those dialed in, guys, then your personal brand is definitely headed in the right direction. So if you want to learn more about that, about your personal brand, just head to discussyourbrand.com, and that will put you on the right road, guys, because that's where you go to get the help that you need.
Yeah. And hey, subscribe, hit the subscribe button right now, notification numbers right now, button right now, because we're going to bring you this value every day. Every time we come on here, we really want you to understand the importance of personal branding. We do it through our podcast. We do it through the company. We do it through our international staff of people that help build in all genres of business, because we know how important this is in a world where they really want you to box in and make you look like everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want to do that. You want the individuality, because that's where the gold is. Trust me. And hey, Absolutely. We do this for prosperity. And when we talk about prosperity here, we're not just talking about money. That's just a part of prosperity. We're talking about a full 360 of an abundant life that we truly want for every one of y'all. We know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold. To those of you who are smart enough to do so. And thank you, Miss Tanya, for all that you have done. Hey, I got to say this to everybody. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Tanya, for coming into my life and changing my direction of business. It was, for welcome. 20. Listen, I've been in business for 30 years. 20 of it was rocky. 10 of it has been insane good, and I've known her those 10. So listen to what we're talking about, guys. I promise you.
Thank you. Help you. I will buy your lunch today, Fred.
All right.
You just nailed a free lunch. All right. Okay, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget, discussyourbrand.com. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.